Having Oral Roberts with me is so special. You know, I spend much time with this precious man of God, and I'm so glad he is on the program today. When I go and talk to him, I receive so much from the Lord. And I've asked him, I said, would you come back and be on the program with me and just minister to God's precious people? And I'm just so glad you are here today. You know, when I sit with you in your home, I receive so much from the Lord. And the last visit I had, he talked about faith. Now, I have never heard this truth presented as clearly and as powerfully. Now, what is amazing to me is the Lord keeps showing you things. You want to talk about this amazing new truth that God showed you?
Benny, I would be glad to. I didn't know you were going to ask me that, but that's on my heart all the time, because I'm trying to practice what the Lord shows me. And I have continuing revelation from the Lord. And in Matthew chapter 17 and verses 19 and 20, a remarkable thing happened concerning faith for those people and faith that we can have in our time for the things that we face every day of our lives.
Exactly.
That's what I like about it, because it's for the now. Jesus had been on the Mount of Transfiguration, and down at the bottom of the hill there was a man, brought his little afflicted child, was possessed with demon spirits. And the disciples were there, and he asked them to cast the demons out, and they tried, but they failed. And Jesus came walking up, and the man cried out, "Your disciples couldn't do it. If you can do anything, please help me." And Jesus said, "Sir, it's not if I can do anything, if you can believe." And the man says, "Help my unbelief." Jesus cast the spirits out, and the little boy was well. And so as they were walking away, the disciples said, "Lord, why couldn't we cast him out?" And the Lord said, "Because of your unbelief." And he said, this is verse 20, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you don't even have to have a lot of faith. If you just have faith so small, it's no bigger than a little mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, talking about the problem that they tried to cast out and could not, "You be removed, and it will obey you. It will be removed." And then he added these words, "Nothing shall be impossible unto you."
That is awesome.
Now, I've read this hundreds of times. I have studied it, but recently while I was reading it, the Lord's revelation power came upon me, and he said, notice two different words. He said, notice what they said to me. Why could we not cast this evil spirit out? Why? And notice what I said in reply. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed. They said, why? And I said, that's the wrong word.
And often we hear people say, why?
Yes.
All
why
the time.
has this happened to me?
Yeah.
What have I done to deserve it?
Yeah.
How many times have I said the word why when I should have said the word if? Why has this happened to me? Who can answer the riddles of life? Who can tell me or you or you why bad things happen to you? Who can tell you why you can try so hard and you don't make any progress? Jesus said it's the wrong question. Don't say, why has this bad thing happened? Say, if I can have faith as a grain of mustard seed, I can speak to this mountain of need in my life and tell it to go, and it will be removed, and nothing will be impossible unto me. Well, it was like you shone a light upon my mind. And instantly I thought at the times I'd said why, and only befuddled myself. And then I remembered the times that I thought of my faith, that if I had just enough, just a little of it, no more than a tiny mustard seed, if I had faith, then I could speak to this bad thing and tell it, get out of my life. And suddenly I would be in a realm, an attitude, a new world where things were possible to me rather than impossible. If I could make one point today above all else, stop saying why has this bad thing happened to me, or why can't I do this? Say, if I have just a little bit of faith, even I, the one that just said the wrong question, the one that just said the big why, I can speak to this mountain of problems and needs. I can speak to it and tell it to get out of my life.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Faith